Hello, good morning. In the previous class, we had continued the curl of a vector field and we have completed the half से भी ज़्यादा, that means the near about completed the topic, but there are some problems, so that's why we cannot continue the topic. So in this today class, we are finish this topic curl of a vector field. So in the last lecture we completed this topic, that is operator cross A by solving this total term. So we get this final term, but this is not the final term. Here we have the representation of this minus sign. We get the three minus sign, that is minus, minus, and here minus. So we have to convert this, that is the k cross I. This k cross I is nothing but the j. This k cross I is nothing but the j, and here I cross j is nothing but the k again, and j cross k is nothing but the I. But here there's the sign j cross k. J cross k, here's the sign minus because there is a k cross j. So that's why we take here minus sign, and again j cross k right here. So after that we continue, that is del ay by del x of k minus del az by del x of this k cross I. K cross I is nothing but the j. So we write here directly again vector j minus del ax by del y of I cross j is nothing but the k plus del az by del y of vector I plus del ax by del z of vector j minus del ay by del z. J cross k is nothing but the I. So after that we common the term as according to vector I, j, k. Okay, so we are recorrectly, first is the I term and this is the I term we take common. So we get del az by del y minus del ay by del z of vector I plus then vector j. This is a vector j and here's the j, that is del ax by del z of j, and this is the next term del az by del x of vector j plus, and last is the k, that is del ay by del x minus, and this is the term k, del ax by del y of k term. So we get the three components, that is the I, j and k, and after that we arrange this in the matrix form. This is the operator cross A. So this is nothing but the solution of the matrix, and this matrix can be written as this is the I, j and k, because these are the three coordinates I, j, k, and after that we are writing, that is vector ax, ay and az, and last del by del x, del by del y and del by del z. So we get this term in the matrix form, and this is called the curl of vector A is equals to operator cross A is equals to, this is the curl of the vector field A. So after the series, if we simplify, we get the first term, we get the I, and after that we just taking this product, that is del ay by del z plus del az by del y. Okay, so this is the first term. We got this term, that is del az by del y so this is the term del ay by del z minus of del az by del y. So this is the term. Okay, del az by del y minus, sorry, here we are writing first, that is the This is the reverse in position. So firstly we write here operator, coordinates of operator, that is del by del x, because first is the operator, so that's why we write first is the operator del by del z, and last is the vector a, so he write here ax, ay and az. Then after that we get the same term, that is I into, this is the term del az by del y minus del ay by del z. Okay, so this is the same with the we are our equation, that is del az by del y minus of del ay by del z. This is I, and again when we calculating j, we get the del az by del x by del z. Okay, this is the j term, but between the j we get the minus sign here, plus sign, that's why we reverse the term. Okay, so this is the curl of a vector field which we completed here. So the next topic is the physical significance of gradient of a scalar field. Physical significance of a gradient. Okay, physical significance of a gradient of a scalar field. So let us consider a diagram. Here the three coordinates. Okay, so this is the x, y and z plane, three coordinates plane. Okay, and here we are considering the point P. Okay, so let us consider a point P having the position coordinates x, y, z, and next one is the point Q, another point Q. Okay, very close to it, having the position coordinates x plus position coordinates of point Q, P is equals to x, y and z, and position coordinates of Q is equals to x plus dx, y plus dy and z plus dz, because this point Q is very close to each other as shown in figure. Okay, so this is the position, so this distance is the dr. Okay, means distance from P to Q, this is the position vector, so this distance is denoted by the dr, and if we draw the vector distance between the two points P and Q is the dr, so that's why firstly we write the dr, the distance between two points P and Q are dr, and this vector dr is nothing but this is the distance between 2 points P and Q, and this dr is nothing but the dx vector I plus dy vector j plus dz vector k. Okay, so let phi be the value of the scalar function at point P, and phi plus d phi is the value of vector function Q. Let phi is the scalar value at point P. Phi is the scalar value of scalar function, or we write here scalar value of the scalar function, or it is known as the phi is the scalar function. Directly we write here phi is the scalar function at point P, and phi plus d phi is the scalar function at point Q. Okay, phi is the scalar function at point P, and phi plus d phi is the scalar function at point Q. Then the change in the value of phi is equals to d phi is known as the total differential phi. Change in the value. Therefore, the change in the value, it is nothing but the phi plus d phi and minus of phi. We get this minus phi plus phi cancel, and we get the d phi. This change in the value is nothing but the phi is equals to d phi is known as the total differential. This phi is equals to d phi is equals to total differential of phi. We calculate the change. So this change is equals to change in the value of phi. We get the value d phi, and this is called the total differential of phi. Now the rate of change of phi along x axis, the rate of change of phi, that is del phi by del x. The rate of change of phi with respect to x axis, that is the del phi by del x, and the value of phi at a. We get the another point here. We get the another point A and B, and this distance is the dx. This distance is the dy, and this distance is the dz. Okay. So therefore, the rate of change of phi with respect to along the x axis, that is the del phi by del x, the rate of change of phi along y axis, and the value of phi at a is equals to the rate of change of phi along x axis is equals to del phi by del x. Therefore, the value of phi at point A is equals to phi plus del phi by del x into dx. That is phi plus del phi by del x. This is the phi, and plus del phi by del x, and into this value is the dx. Okay. By using this, we can calculate the value of phi at point B, which we can take in the next class. Up to which, thank you.